Okay, and then you had the two packets from yesterday. There's four. There was four in the one, and then there's going to be about let's say about 8 from the other. So we're at 12, and then you got 5 of these, which you took the test on last week. This actually is the exact test you took. So we have to solve for the x and the y. So I have 4x plus negative 7y equals 10, and I have y equals 1x plus negative 7. So first I need to look for a letter that's all by itself, so I can call that the base, and I have this y by itself. So that is your base equation. Okay, so I want to kind of box that up and then circle the other side. And then I need to write down the other equation, the 4x plus negative 7y equals 10. Okay, so what's the letter I'm using as my base? Well, the y is, because everything's based off that, because the y is by itself. So I want to put the y in the parentheses. Now, if that would have been an x, I would put the x in parentheses, but it was the y. So I'm going to write everything the same, but I'm not going to put anything in for that parentheses. So I have 4x plus negative 7 parentheses equals 10. Now we're going to extend that parentheses because I have to fit these two things inside of it. So 4x plus negative 7, widen your parentheses, equals 10. So I'll be putting 1x plus negative 7 in that parentheses. Okay, and now I'm going to work on solving for x. So I'm going to do my rainbows with the negative 7. Okay. So I take negative 7 times 1, it's negative 7. I'll just show you how I'm getting it. So negative 7, and that would have x on it. And then negative 7 times negative 7. So I need to take negative 7 times negative 7, which is positive 49. Okay, as soon as I have these two things written down, I want to cross this out. Okay, but before I write equals 10, I have to add the 4x in there. So plus 4x, that's a 49. Okay, it's a 49. Equals 10. Now, here's the equals, and your x's are on the same side, so you want to draw your little adding pyramid. So you're going to add those together. You're going to take negative 7 plus 4. Negative 3. So I want to put negative 3 with x. Then I cross those out. Now before equals, I got to remember there's a plus 49 and then equals 10. Okay, and now that I have only a solo x, I can dot it and circle it and get it by itself. So plus 49, I would minus 49 from both sides. And 10 minus 49 is negative 39. So I have negative 3 dot x equals negative 39. Now I can divide by negative 3. Okay, and that's positive 13, so that's what x equals 13. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is use your base. You don't need to write a new equation. You just go into your base, parenthesize your x because you have the answer for that, and then just get rid of it and put a 13 in there. Okay. So the y is by itself, so y equals 1 times 13 plus negative 7. So 1, 13 plus negative 7, that's 6. Okay, there's your other answer. Okay, the next system I need to solve. 3 times x plus 2 times y equals 11, and then 7 times x plus negative 1 times y equals 3. Now, unlike this system up here, I do not have a base. There is no base. Okay, so if there's no base, I'm going to circle the x's, the y's, and then these two numbers here. Now, when I do that, after I circle them, I'm going to write this top equation because I'm going to use it to get my second answer. So 3x plus 2y equals 11. I'm just going to write that down here. Okay, so I need to dot, 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 because there's no same either. Okay, because 3 and 7 aren't the same, neither are 2 and 1, so I need to use my dots for the multiplication. So what's the very first number you have down here? 7, so we're going to times all these by 7. What do you have up here as your top? You have 3, so you can times all these by 3. Okay, so 3 times 7 is 21 with x. 2 times 7 is 14 with y. Then I take 11 times 7. Don't just leave it 11. I had a couple people do that. Okay, you got to take 11 times 7, and that's 77. Okay, then down here on bottom, 7x times 3 would be 21 with x. Negative 1 times 3 would be negative 3 with y. And then 3 times 3 would be 9. Okay, now do your circle again, and now you actually have somewhere where you have the same thing in front of the variable. Here, 21, 21 are the same number. Okay, so these 21s are both positive. Well, to cross them out, they can't both be the same sign, okay? We need to make the bottoms all opposites, so that 21 is going to become a negative. Now, that negative 3 is not going to stay negative. It becomes positive, and the positive 9 goes to negative. And remember, I'm always plussing, okay? So I'm going to plus 21 to negative 21 just to make sure that's 0, and it is. I'm going to add positive 14 to positive 3. 14 plus 3 is 17y. I'm going to take positive 77 and add negative 9. So 77 plus negative 9 is 68. Okay, and now I need to dot my 17 and just divide by 17. Okay, so 68 divided by 17 is 4. So that's my answer for y. So I have the answer for y. Okay, now I'm going to parenthesize the y because I have the answer for it, and I scribble that out and put 4, but you can't just go to your calculator because this x is not by itself, okay? So I'm going to have to take 2 times 4, that's 8. And then before equals 11, we got to add our 3x, and then we can equal 11. So dot your 3x, circle it, take away the 8 by subtracting, and 3 dot x is equal to 3. And now I can divide by 3, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. Okay, next problem. Story problems, 3 of them. Mike bought cat food and dog food for his pets. Dog food costs $9 per pound, while cat food costs $6 per pound. Mike bought a total of 20 pounds of food. His total cost was $168. How many pounds of cat food, how many pounds of dog food did Mike purchase? So here's where our answers are going to be. Now there's 3 units because we have our dog food, our cat food, and our dollars. So that would be 3 units. So I want to make my chart, not the side boxes. I would want to make my chart. Okay, so before I look at putting things in, I need to set up my labels. So how many? The dollars for a single, and the dollars for a total. Okay, and then I know that money is one of my units, and then dogs and cats, dog, cat. You can put food if you want, it doesn't really matter. Now, there's only one total cost in this problem, and it's right here, $168. So that's my total cost at the end. Cross that out. Okay, now let's fill out the top row because I know these are my non-dollar amounts. Okay, it looks to me like 9 is a dollar amount, so that would not go here. 6 is a dollar amount, that would not go here. 20 is not a dollar amount, that needs to go here, but would it go for dog, cat, or total? Now it said Mike bought a total of 20 pounds of food. It does not say if that's for dog or cat, so I assume that's my total. And then if I have to put that amount in for the total, I'm going to put X and I'm going to put Y, 2 different letters. Okay, now here's my dollar amounts, and we always want to black this out because I don't want to be worrying about that. So 9 is a dollar amount. It says dog food costs $9 per pound, so I can put $9 there. Cross out the 9. And I also have $6, and that was what cat food costs, so $6 per pound. Okay, so my money total for the dogs. Well, I have X dogs. Don't know how many, but I know they cost $9 each. So X times 9 would be 9X. And then Y times 6 for the cats would be 6Y. Okay, now these two letters I have on bottom are different letters, so I need to make my cross. So I have this equation, and you're like, well, what's the other one I have? Look up here. We have this one for sure, and then I don't have another one, so I'm going to use this top row. Okay, so X plus Y could equal 20, and I'm going to put 1's in front, and then 9X plus 6Y could equal 168. Okay, now I don't have a base, so there's no base because I don't have a letter by itself, so I'm going to draw my circles. Then after drawing that, I'm going to write 1x plus 1y equals 20. That's to get my second answer. Now, do you have any that are the same? Well, 1 and 9 are not the same, and 1 and 6 are not the same, so there's no same, so I need to use my dot, 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 dot. So I have a 9 down here, so I'm going to go 9, 9, 9, and I have a 1 here, so 1, 1, 1. Okay, so 1x times 9 is 9x. 1y times 9 is 9y. And then I'm going to be taking 20 times 9. That's 180. Okay, so 9 times 1 is 9, so 9x. 6 times 1 is 6, so 6y. And I take 168 times 1, which is 168. Now try your circle again. Now here I have 9 and 9. Now I have the same thing, but they can't both be positive 9s. We need to switch the signs. Do a sign switch. Negative. The 6 turns negative, and the 168 turns into a negative. So now I plus 9 plus negative 9. That's going to be 0. 9 plus negative 6 is 3, so that's 3y equals 180, but remember, don't just plus 168, you plus negative 168. It's got to be negative, and that's 12. Okay, so I'm going to dot and then divide. So y equals 4. Now I'll put that down here when I get the other answer. So I have my answer for y, so I parenthesize the y, put a 4. Now the x isn't by itself though. Okay, so you need to take one, find the product of 1 and 4, which is 4, and then add 1x before you equal out to 20. Okay, then dot, minus 4, 20 minus 4 is 16, so 1 dot x is 16. Divide by 1, and it's 16. Now, these are my two answers, but where do they go? So y is 4. So here's the y, and that's under the cats. So 4 pounds of cat food. And then 16 pounds of dog food. Okay, next problem. A group of 12 students and 3 teachers go to a museum. Their total cost was $57. The next day, a group of 14 students and 4 teachers go to the same museum. Their total cost was $69. Find the cost of a single student and the cost of a single teacher. Okay, so again, we have 3 units, students, teachers, and dollars. So I don't want to do the line. I want to do my chart. Okay, shows how all the variables relate. So total, how many, and the money for a single, and the money for total. Okay, so students, teachers. So students, teachers. Okay, now your money total, now it says here we have two total costs we need to put in there. And one of the total costs is $57, and then there's a second one, and that is $69. It's two different groups, there's two total costs. Okay, so I get rid of those. And now here I'm looking for non-money amounts. Well, I have 12. 12 is not a money amount. It goes here. It's 12 students, so 12. 3 is not a money amount. It's 3 teachers, so 12 and 3. Cross those out. Okay, 14 is not a money amount. It goes up here, 14 students. And the 4 is not a money amount either, so it's 4. Okay, so that's all the numbers I have. Now, since I'm good to go to black that out. Okay. Now again, sometimes the amount goes for neither one, so we put it here and then put X and Y here, but that wasn't the case. Okay, now these are my money amounts. I can black that out as always. Okay. Now the problem is I don't really have anything else to put. I mean, I've already put them all on the table. So I don't know the money amount for a student or a teacher, so I put X and X so that it matches up nicely here. And I'm going to put Y and Y. Okay, so 12 students don't know how much it costs, so 12X. And then 14 students don't know how much that costs, so that's 14X. 3 teachers, I don't know how much each costs, so 3Y and 4Y. Okay, now these letters on the bottom are not the same. We got X and Y, so we're going to need our cross for the system. So I have this equation, and the other equation is just the one right above it. I don't go up here because there's nothing there. I blacked out that, so I knew I wasn't going to use that. So I have 12X plus 3Y equals 57, and then I have 14X plus 4Y equals 69. Okay, so as I'm looking through that, I see I don't have a base. There's no base I can use, so I circle the X's, the Y's, and the money. Okay, and then when I do that, I should know, okay, I'm going to eventually have to find a second answer, and I'll use the top equation, 12X plus 3Y equals 57. Okay, do you have anything? 12 and 14 are not the same, and 3 and 4 are not the same, so there's no same either. Okay, so we're going to have to do our dots. So I have 14, so you're going to have 14, 14, and 14, and then 12, so 12, 12, and 12. Okay, so I take 12 times 14, 168x. Okay, 3 times 14 is 42y. Then I take 57 times 14, and that's 798. Okay, then 14 times 12 is again going to be 108x, 68x. And then 4 times 12 is 48y. And then I need to take 69 times 12. And that's 828. Okay, now I circle again because now I'm actually going to find somewhere we have the same. The same is right there. Okay. So these need to be made opposite. So negative, the 48 goes to negative, and the 828 goes negative. And now again, as always, I plus. So I take 168 plus negative 168, and that's 0. So these can be canceled. They have to add to 0 though. 42 plus, remember to make our 48 negative. Negative 48, negative 6y. And then I take 798 plus negative 828, and that's negative 30. Okay, now you just dot your y, and you're going to divide both sides by negative 6. I get a cancellation here. And then negative 30 divided by negative 6 is 5. Okay? So that's your answer for y. Now to solve for the x, we parenthesize the y and replace it with the 5 that we have the answer for. Now again, the x isn't just sitting there all by itself, so we can't just, the calculator can't do the whole thing. You take 3 times 5 is 15. Not 15x, so I've crossed out the x. And then before equaling 57, I need to add 12x equals 57. Now I dot my x and circle it. Now I get rid of the 15 by minusing it. And 57 minus 15 is 42. So 12.x equals 42. And now I divide by 12. Divide by 12. This is going to be a decimal. It's okay. 42 divided by 12 is 3.5. Okay. Okay, now what's what? The y is 5, so the y is the teacher. So that means a teacher costs $5, and then a student costs $3.50. Okay, then our last one. At a concession stand, they sell 96 popcorn bags and 48 pretzels. The popcorn costs 50 cents more than the pretzels. They made a total of $336. What's the cost of an individual bag of popcorn and the individual pretzels? So there's where I'm going to put my answers. And again, there's 3 units. We got the popcorn, the pretzels, and then the dollars. So 3 units. So with 3 units of measurement in the problem, we're going to want to make our chart. And then total, and then the money total. The money for a single, then how many. Okay, so popcorn and pretzels are the 2 units that kind of run together up here. And there's one total cost, and that total cost is $336. So I'm only going to have one number there. Okay, how many? Remember, again, how many means non-money. If it has a money label, it does not belong here. It has nothing to do with that. So 96 doesn't have a money amount, and that's our popcorn bags. So 96. 48 doesn't have a money amount. That's our pretzels. Okay, and we're just going to black that out then because there are no more non-money amounts. Okay, when I go down to my second row, always black that out. Sometimes you black that out, sometimes you don't, but you're always going to black this one out. Okay, well, the only money I see is 50 cents more. Okay, so when I see that more, then I write x plus 0.50 and x. I'm not going to use y anywhere, okay? And these are the two expressions I'm going to put in here, but I got to put it in the right place. So it says the popcorn costs 50 cents more than the pretzels. So this has to be in for the popcorn because that's 50 cents more. So x plus 0.50, and then the x is going to go under the pretzels. So I know how 48 times x is just 48x. And then here to multiply this, I want to put the 1 there and then make my little rainbow. And this means multiply. You're not going to add right there. It means you're going to times. 96 times. It's like the rainbows, but you can't really go like this. You got to go like that. So it's going to be 96x plus, because then I got to take 96 times 0.50, and that's 48. Okay, now, I don't need to make that cross because the 2 letters, there's 2 letters, but they're the same. So that means I can draw my adding pyramid. I'm going to add my x's together if there's 2 of them. 96 plus 48 is 144, so that would be 144x. Now, before I equal 336, I need to add the 48. Equals 336. And now I have a nice simple equation. I dot the x and get the x by itself. So I minus 48 minus 48. So 144.x equals 288. And then I can divide by 144. Okay, so x is 2. Okay, so I find the solo x on the table. It's right here, so it's under pretzels. So the pretzels are $2. Now, if you're wondering how to find the other answer, you're going to plug it in, but you're going to plug it in up here. So x is 2. I already have that answer, though. I don't have the other answer, but I know I can just take the x value of 2 and add 50 cents to it. Okay? So 2 plus 0.50 is 2.5. So the popcorn is $2.50. Okay, that's what I was saying on that today. I hope it's been informative. So you have this and then the 2 packets from yesterday, and that's what's on your final.